Type of site. A site of production is identified as one that was inspired by the Industrial Revolution and the new and emerging technologies to better the creation of goods and services as well as services within office buildings. Due to the nature of the ICI house being that of an office building, it is therefore a site of production. However, it can also be considered a site of ritual and exchange. Building technicals. As the building was an independent structural frame, the facade was not load-bearing and therefore glass was able to be used along the full length of the elevations, like a curtain. Regarding light, the use of continuous north and south ribbon windows allowed for the office building to be flooded with natural light, in contrast to previous buildings created that used small windows such as masonry buildings. The ability of mass-produced curtain wall windows came from the technological advancement of the war, as mentioned before. It required both aluminium and cold-setting rubbers for a creation, as those materials allowed for the windows to be waterproof. A major aspect during the construction of the ICI house was having it be as fireproof as possible. This was achieved through an innovative precast concrete unit which removes the use of wet concrete on site. The construction also included a military-like schedule of trades and crane times to ensure that it was carefully created and maintained a strict machine-like approach to creation. Also, due to the height limit exceeded, this raised concerns on fire safety. Methods of fireproof construction were then enhanced with the requirements to have 3 hours of fire-rated protection on external walls.
The design of the ICI house captured the idea of connecting nature with office due to the radiance of natural lighting that shines through the building. In addition, it is also surrounded by landscape and air. The building itself only occupies around 41% of its site, which allows for the remaining of the site to be filled with landscaping, fountains, a pond, as well as artworks. Several plants were placed throughout the building to connect the staff to nature once again, but internally. Within the building, the stairs were also open, connecting the floors to allow for ease of movement for the staff throughout the building, as well as the use of many elevators for swift and quick movement throughout the building for the staff. At the beginning of the ICI house's opening, not only was it a groundbreaking project, but it was also incorporated as a new and advanced technologies that comes from the experiences of World War II, as well as wanting to create a new post-war future. The director of Bates, Smart and McCutcheon, Osborne McCutcheon, was appointed the chief architect for the US Army Corps of Engineering, and due to his experience of war architecture, he applied the different uses of technologies and methods to create several of the architectural group's post-war projects. The building was designed with many innovative solutions. During 1952, Victoria was finally emerging from being in shortage of some materials and labor. There was also a very strong need to use the latest in regards to prefabricated, modularized, systemized based concrete. The most notable feature of the building is no doubt the glass curtain wall, and therefore was briefly known as the Glass House. The ICI is a significant building for Australian history, as it was the first freestanding skyscraper, which contained a glazed curtain wall. It is considered to be one of the nation's most stylish buildings and perfectly demonstrates the architect's vision of making the most efficient high-rise office building. Being raised on pilotis, the facade of the blue glazed linear slab containing open-plan office spaces, reaching a height of 80 meters, it pierced the height limit for buildings, forever changing the Melbourne skyline. The combination of the ground-level garden and the sculpture by Gerald Lewis allowed for the height limit to be exceeded. The ICI building set a new record-breaking height of 80 meters, which was double the building regulation at the time, which was set at 40 meters in 1916 by building authorities. This introduced the option for the demand for higher premium rent prices. As well as the slab that sat on the large consolidated site, it provided a total area of about twice the usual size of any other office building in Melbourne. The ICI house represented the idea of modernism post-war, as well as the beginning of the machine age, with the building using new and emerging technologies, as well as its incorporation of nature with flooding sunlight. During 1989, some sympathetic alterations were made on the building under the direction of the original architects, and in 2005, the building was announced to be included in Australia's National Heritage List. The ICI building holds such significance as it was the first building to ignore the height limit for fire ladders and exceed the limit. Creating this beautiful new high-rise building was known as one of the first skyscrapers in Australia.